Hello, hello. This is Mary, and I wanted to pop in and talk about something because it sort of hit me in the face today as I was doing a number of things getting ready. I had went into a drawer and I decided I should go ahead and take all the things out of this drawer. And what I ended up with is a little sheet to the parents of Mary Ellen from special education. And so then I like opened it up and I took a look. And one of the things that was really transformative for me when I was really working on my health journey, when I started to actually make traction, was it felt like my brain turned on. And what I mean by this is for a long time, so I was in special education. It lasted a year. Um, but and I was held back in second grade, and all of these things were really hard on my little soul because I always felt like I wasn't smart enough. I couldn't do well enough. Nothing made sense. It seemed like every question at school was almost like a trick question. So I want to talk about this uh, and how when you don't realize that your physical, mental, and emotional health go together, sometimes you don't realize that those symptoms can lead you somewhere else to help you do deeper healing. So fast forward, right? I was in second grade. I did second grade twice. During that second year of second grade, I think that's when or maybe it was third grade where I went to special ed. And I started to put things together. I was reading a lot, but I always felt like it took away, like I wasn't ever enough. And I think many people can relate to this. Like I just was always confused when it came to tests, true and false. Now, there's another aside on this, but if we talk about gut health and we talk about the gut brain connection, I'm going to tell you that even as a young age, I was very focused on making sure I ate right because my father was ill. So I was avoiding fat like the plague. My brain just needed way more than what it was getting. And my health, because was trying to eat all low fat and basically carbohydrates, I wasn't getting a very wide variety of helpful protein, helpful fats. So when I started studying, trying to figure out how to help with my depression, help clear my skin, just figure out a way to feel more balanced in my body, I started learning about this gut brain connection. And as I started changing the way I ate, changing my diet, changing my lifestyle, taking certain supplements, many supplements, lots of supplements for neurotransmitter health, lots of diet changes. And when I say diet, different foods or removing certain foods. And all of a sudden, it was like I had this epiphany. Like I could understand things that I didn't feel like I understood before. I feel like my brain turned on. So when I hear from clients, maybe with their children or even with themselves, how they are struggling to understand why doesn't so and so get it? Sometimes it's really as simple as just making sure that the person is getting the right nutrients, making sure that that person is able to actually absorb those nutrients. Maybe there's something going on with their gut lining. So, a lot of you have probably heard about gut health and how important gut health is, but to the extent that it can be helping with certain limitations, whether they're learning disabilities or anything else, right? So, allowing yourself to realize that those symptoms can lead you and be helpful in so many different ways and not just one outcome is really important. Now, the other thing that I want to tell you is that this just never felt like an area that was going to improve for me. I always felt like I had to work really hard, even in these things. Like Mary Ellen has worked so hard this week. She's really, she came prepared. She tried her best. Like I was always trying to do better. That's just who I was. That's who I have always been. And it still felt like it was never enough. So one of the things that also has really helped me is learning my way of being and learning that the way I am comes with its own set of challenges. So, for example, human design is something I use a lot when I'm working with my clients one on one to help them understand themselves deeper. And it's always something that they probably already know, but they've either ignored because it's in society, it seems wrong, or they just have been told it's not right, or they need to do it differently because another person does things differently. And so, one of the things that I sort of specialize in is seeing things very open ended. So, for example, if I was taking a test, and many times as a young person, you're taking true and false tests. If they don't word it exactly right, I can find the gray. I will find the gray and I can explain to you why there's the gray. And I don't know whether you want me to choose true or false, or if I should just write an essay in response to this question, which overcomplicated everything, right? But if I didn't learn to know that about myself, I wouldn't have so much more relief and ease around that, and also see it as sort of a superpower, because I'm able to detect things that people are not, because they're taking certain things for granted maybe, or they just don't see things the way I see them. So all of a sudden, when you understand yourself better, you start to have, and you're starting to heal all the things going together, you start to have these epiphanies, these breakthroughs, you start to think differently, you start to experience life differently, things open up. So when we talk about shifting your symptoms and me inviting you to a shift your symptoms call, and we're talking about it in this holistic manner, this is what we're talking about. It's like, I want to make sure that we are tending to your gut health. I want to make sure that we're tending to maybe your brain fog or your fatigue or your exhaustion or the headaches, or maybe you're dealing with hormonal issues. All of these things go together, and being able to take the time to slow down, to make things as simple as possible, create a like very firm foundation, is what's going to bring you so much more healing than if you just try to skip, right? There's like a song, and they've cut it on all of those like reels or TikToks or whatever. It's like, let's skip to the good part, right? Skipping to the good part won't even feel good until you've gone through the journey of the healing, which sometimes is very uncomfortable. But when you get to the part where you're like able to see everything that you went through and the beauty that it's given you, like if I hadn't had these challenges growing up, I wouldn't be able to understand other people and their challenges. I wouldn't be able to be compassionate about some of these things, maybe possibly, because I wouldn't have experienced them myself. And I am very much an experiential learner. And when I learn, I can break those things down and make them simpler for you, because that's my gift. That's part of who I am. So coming across things like these notes about me and where I was, it reminds me about how, we dismiss ourselves, we diminish ourselves, we think that we're supposed to be a certain way. But when you review that and you step back and you see all the beauty that has come from it, everything that you maybe learned from those experiences, the good, the bad, the gray, and being able to pick and choose instead of just determining, I can't get beyond this, or it's not worth it, or I've tried all the things. And believe me, I understand, because this is just one thing that I got to go through that I would have loved to skip. I would have loved to skip. I would have loved school to be effortless, to be easy. I would have loved to feel like I learned, and, all the tests didn't stress me out and worrying what other people thought about me and whether or not I could answer the question properly. I'd love to skip all of that. I'd love to have been confident and aware that I brought so much to the table, but I had to learn, and then I had to take in and understand how I do things as differently, and that's okay, right? And so part of discussing your symptoms and your behaviors and your thought patterns and understanding all of this helps you heal deeper than just taking one thing to suppress something. So again, let's talk about if it's gut health and gut and brain. A lot of times, myself included, I was taking so many supplements. Sometimes it felt like I was taking spending $1,000 a month just on supplements, eating the perfect diet, trying to do everything so perfectly and in such, according to the protocols, that it was giving me more stress. I was more stressed out. I was more overwhelmed. And yet I was still trying to keep up with the intensity of doing all the things just perfectly right in the hopes of feeling better. And what I found is, yes, some of those things really worked and I held onto them so tightly. And then at some point I had to let go because it was unsustainable. And what I want for you, because I am the person who goes through the things and then hacks the system, makes it easier. I go, okay, so what are the most important things? These are the most important things. Let's cut everything out. Let's make this simple on you. Let's reduce the complexity and let's increase your ability to do the most important strategic things correctly. Let's not say correctly, but to do those things so that you have the possibility of the outcomes and the results that you're looking for. So if you are interested, I've been doing this work for 13 plus years. I've got lots of different experience, not to mention a lot of training. And I would love to support you and help you feel better, not just in your body, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. I want you to feel free to start exploring your life in ways that you just don't feel capable of right now because you don't feel good. So instead of continuing down that path because you are used to it, instead of continuing down that path because you're so used to the discomfort and you are just actually a little fearful and uncertain of what it would feel like to actually feel different and what does that mean for you and how are you going to go through that process, let me help you. Because I promise you that getting support, having somebody else to help you see what you can't see, this will help you change your life. I promise. And if I don't think I can help you, I will let you know. And if I think there's some other sort of something out there, because I've tried a lot of things, I've experienced a lot of things, I will also give you those options and let you know, because I am here to be of service to you. I want you to feel the best. I want you to know how wonderful you are inside and out, not because you work with me, but because you are very special. You're special to so many people. And I want you to know that you get to be special to yourself too. So if you want to book a Shift Your Symptoms call, I'll put the link below. And I can't wait to talk with you. And I just can't wait for you to start to feel better about who you are and in your physical body. All right.